You can make things better. That's the title of a message that's on my site, anyadvicefortoday.com, but it's on there on April 25th of 2023. And that's what I'm going to talk about. We make things better in our lives and in the world when we take the steps that are within us to become our authentic selves. And we know when we're doing that because we feel better. Any aspect of us that is not willing to do that, then we experience some sort of difficulty. We don't have confidence. We don't know where we're going. Things just kind of fall apart. And then we can become really afraid because then we're looking at the world and going, oh my word, what's going to happen? Well, that didn't happen for me because I knew, because I had help. I'm going to talk about this in a way because I want you all to understand it. For 35 years, I've been receiving Wilhelm. If any of you have come to a Wilhelm channeling session, you probably know what I'm talking about, or if you've read any of the messages on Any Advice for Today. Now, the thing that was kind of crazy is that I received messages over years that were corresponding to what we were all moving through now. I couldn't explain that to anyone. There are things that happen in our lives that we can't actually put into human terms because we're evolving, we're changing, and so we will experience things about ourselves that we didn't know. No one knows who they are going to become. I did not know that I was going to become a mystic or a sage. And in actuality, I tried to run from that. I didn't want to be any of that. I had a dream about it actually in 2005, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. That's my failing because I could make things better when I can own and show people what they can accomplish. Now, it's already happening, and so I'm thrilled with that. But also, I stopped. That's what we do sometimes. When we don't believe in who we are or what's being presented to us, we just freeze and we stop. And I did that a couple of years ago because I was so astonished with the results that were coming from the work that I had put into just my 4 weeks to your best life, just these 31 sessions, that it kind of frightened me. I go, where could this go? How could this happen? And then I listened to the last channeling session that was done on the full moon, the Scorpio full moon, just a couple days ago. And I kept hearing, we have given you everything that could heal your life and your world. And I kept hearing it. We have given you everything that could heal your life and your world. And the only difficulty is you don't believe it. And the person who didn't believe it was me, because it was really shocking. And to tell you the things that I've moved through in my life, and I'm 73 now, and it's just doesn't even, I've spent the last month trying to figure out how this happened. But we all know how it happens, because when we take the steps of owning our authentic selves, even mind-body connection starts to kick in. You move to a higher dimension of thinking. You start to become happy for no apparent reason. You move through your generational trauma. You move through all the things that have been frightening you, that have been holding you back. You understand why you haven't earned the kind of money you wanted. You understand why you couldn't really accept the career or move in the direction that you wanted to. You begin to understand why your relationships, some of them, gave you a lot of difficulty or didn't work out and you're still looking for the right one. All of those are the steps that any person will take in developing who they are. You can call it personal development, self-actualization, but ultimately what I've come to understand, it's also ascension. And that can be challenging because I've gone through it, so I do understand. You can move through all sorts of physical ailments and being frightened and all of that. I do understand it because I've moved through it. And when I talk about this work as an ascension guide, and people say, well, why does it work? Because I'm the result of it. And so many other people who have done this work. But the one failing that I had, like so many others, is I thought, no, it couldn't have been me. I sat on Easter, I'm walking around and I'm thinking, how did I heal? How did this happen? This makes no medical sense that I could have healed in this way. And I've known this for years. But to tell people about it, it's like, wow, this is really kind of crazy. But see, I heard it again because the only difficulties, and we're seeing them everywhere now, we're having difficulties in the world, everywhere, globally. And my Wilhelm told me years ago that this is what we would be experiencing, and that I had the information and the work that could help us move through this period. That seemed so unbelievable until I saw it work, until I saw people moving into higher states of their understanding, healing things, creating businesses. My Wilhelm said this work was meant to do one thing, was to give individuals the ability to know who they are, discover their life purpose, move through all of those barriers, and create a successful, prosperous life, because that's what we're all supposed to have. But we have to become willing to move through all the old stuff first. And that's the part that's challenging for us individually, and it's also challenging for our world, which is why you're seeing people protesting and anger and all of that from things that they have no memory of because they're generational. But we're trying to get rid of them. But the way that we get rid of them is to make the changes within ourselves. We have to recognize that we all come in the same way, and we just have consciousness to guide our ways. That's all anyone has. But what happens over time is that we discover new ways. And so what my new way was, that I was given through Wilhelm, said that every single person is born with worth and value, and all they have to do is move through the blockages that have been there, and then they start to find it. And then they live these really happy lives, and then they start to heal. And I know that's true because that's exactly what happened for me. And now I'm going to start documenting it, and this is why I'm changing things. But I'm saying that I kind of failed a little bit because what has happened is the only person who had trouble with the work that I've done, is that they were upset with me because there wasn't more. Because I stopped. I didn't finish it. Now I'm finishing it. And this is what I'm saying, why I'm making changes in my life, because I have to give this to so many more people, because I know how valuable it is. I know what a difference it would make, not only in an individual's life, but over time, it makes a difference in our world, because we have a lot more people who are happy, who are loving themselves, who have let go of their anger and their judgment and all of those things. And I can tell you it works, because you start to feel lighter. You start to get younger. All of those things happen. The only thing you can't be done is convince you that you can do it. And that's the difficulty. And it was the difficulty for me, so I understand it. But I wanted to say this because, especially for those who are in my program, you have the best deal ever, because you're going to have everything. Yes, I know the program's going to be like based on $5,000, but everyone who comes in now will have all of this information. And as I said the other day, or if you listen to the last recording, you'll hear it, because I was supposed to say it a couple of weeks ago, but it's happening now. But I opened up 10 slots. 2 are already gone, so there are 8 left, and we'll see what happens. Then after that, it goes to the higher rate, because I'm spending the rest of my life and the rest of this time putting in this work. The next thing we're working on are relationships and money, because we will be dealing with those issues coming up. We're dealing with them now, but there are going to be more of them over the next several months as we move through this year. And then also financially, how we're going to sustain ourselves. Everyone has the ability to create a really prosperous life when they understand who they are, when they understand their life purpose, because that brings up this kind of motivation that you just keep going. And the energy of that causes abundance to come to you. It's only when we block ourselves that we cut it off. And I can say this because I've done it. I wasn't willing to go into those places that I knew I was meant to have. So then my money was blocked. So I know that happens. But I also know that we can change it. And this is what I am doing now. And I just want anyone who is still, interested in working with us, because it's been thrilling to see what is occurring, and the people that are thriving and are doing things that they never thought they could do before. And I know that's true because I experienced things that I never thought it would be possible for me to achieve. But I will leave this work with everyone because it's so valuable, and I want people to heal and prosper. That's what it is. So, yeah, we can make things better.